Is that nice?
Wait.
Hold on. Let's open this round table up with some burps. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any?
Ian, you got any?
I don't want to make myself burp right now.
Come on.
Okay.
Team player over here.
Loser. It was so sad.
This is a group of three people. Three people you're going to be seeing a heck ton amount of times.
In English, we're the ones who are constantly going to be hosting things for Gamma.
Sorry.
And we decided to take this time to show you guys who we are and fill you in on these three faces.
I want to show you my stuff.
I want to show you my stuff.
Are we taking our pants off?
Well, I got pants on underneath this, so it's fine.
That's weird.
So why don't we go around real quick? You're probably the most notable in terms of who your face is.
I'm Rachel. I'm sorry. I'm Rachel. I'm angry. I'm pissed.
Oh, my God.
I'm Rachel. You might know me if you dig some of the stuff I do. I used to be on a channel called Snarled where I talked about Snurved, and I talked about horror. And I'm the talent producer here at Skybound and Gamma Ray.
She's the talent producer. We're the digital content producers. Yeah. And what we're trying to do with Gamma Ray is dive deep into media and fandom and kind of look at everything from an analytical point of view rather than just celebrate everything. Because not everything's good, but also there are bad things that are good.
Yeah, and I think that it's important that none of us are like claiming to be the end-all be-all when it comes to our fandoms, because we're inclusive. We want the most exciting thing in the world is when you show somebody something that you love and then they're like, oh, that's pretty cool. So we want to make what we love as accessible as possible.
We're getting the opportunity to actually hear everyone else's opinions and voices on it, which most of the time that's when I learn about something cool or something that I didn't know about, any tidbits about things that I already did know. I think that's all really interesting. So this is just as much about your guys' thoughts and opinions on the fandoms that we all love as much as it is what we have to think as well.
Yeah, but I think that the biggest common denominator that we all have is butts. We all have them.
Well, and butts are a very specific fandom.
I know.
So what's your favorite butt in the
whole world?
In fandom.
In fandom. What's my favorite butt in fandom?
What's your favorite butt?
Well, shit. That's a big question.
Actually, what do you think is the coolest butt?
The coolest butt is different than my favorite butt.
Well,
interesting. Which is?
Sid Haig, probably.
Sid Haig is your favorite
butt? Silliest butt.
No matter what, whoever you say is going to be a weird answer. Coolest butt.
Coolest butt.
Can you elaborate on Sid Haig's silly butt?
Oh, he's got the silliest butt. It is so. It's like a square.
Well, he's older, and typically that's what happens to your butt. It goes from round to square. It changes.
Hard-edged square.
God forbid.
Interesting.
Y'all ever seen a rhombus?
The shape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What butt is a rhombus?
Yeah. Whose butt is a rhombus?
Do you have an example of a rhombus butt?
Anyone past a century old?
That's a very old butt. That's a dead butt you're looking at.
No.
Oh.
People that pass 100.
Show me. Prove it.
So I think we're all really excited about what we're making, but to give you guys a little bit of a mindset of who's behind the curtain and what we're really passionate about, let's quickly kind of cover some of the things that we grew up with.
Sure.
What was I know
y'all grew up
shark
together.
Love.
I love sharks. Jaws was one of the first movies that really affected me, but I don't think I made the connection that Jaws was even a horror movie at the time.
Yeah.
I think I watched it, I was like, oh, this is kind of like a crazy adventure.
I still kind of don't. It's like a creature movie.
Horror movie.
It's a creature movie.
I think it's a horror movie.
It's a horror movie.
Okay, well, first of all, whoa. Second of all, tell me why.
So then would you classify, is every monster movie a horror movie?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
I think so.
But well, that's interesting because when I talk about cryptids, I do consider it true horror. So like when I talk about Mothman or Bigfoot or something like that, it's classified as true horror, which means it's not true crime, but it's horror based in reality.
I think a good.
So I guess so, yeah.
A very recent film actually put this question into perspective. Shape of Water. Would you put Shape of Water in the horror genre? Because I wouldn't.
Pure porn.
It's pure hardcore porn.
scary
There are
porn.
horror elements.
There are horror
I wouldn't
elements.
classify it as a horror movie.
But I wouldn't
No.
feel, every time I feel
But it's
But I
suspense.
also wouldn't classify it as a monster movie either.
Yeah.
I think it's a monster movie. The core subject of the film as a character and as a plot is the monster.
Would you consider...
It's a romance movie with a monster in it.
Would you... Okay, so you
But-
wouldn't consider a horror movie.
Right?
Shape of Water?
Yeah.
No. If it's man vs. nature or man vs. monster, horror
Yeah.
movie.
Sure.
So any natural disaster movie is a horror movie?
Okay, sorry. Man vs. monster.
Okay.
Yeah, I just don't.
That's it.
Airbud.
I get the point you're trying to make.
Yeah.
I do think that it isn't so cookie cutter.
Well, clearly, I don't know. See, I'm always confused about what is horror and what isn't, because, like, Sixth Sense is not a horror movie. It's a thriller suspense.
I would agree.
But how is a movie, spoilers, about dead kids?
You don't need to spoil.
Spoilers.
You don't need a spoiler warning. If you haven't seen The Sixth Sense,
Go home.
go home
You're
and watch
drunk.
The Sixth Sense.
But how is that less of a horror movie than Shape of Water?
It's not. I don't think it's less of a horror movie.
What? Guys, I give up. Can we just all need to make one style of movie for the rest of the time?
I think it's a good conversation, though, especially with The Meg will be an interesting one to talk about.
What was y'all's, like, movie? Middle school, coming home, popping it in that VHS. What was your go-to?
I think was Jaws not that?
It wasn't Jaws. It was probably Boondock Saints.
Oh,
Interesting.
What? At what age?
Middle school.
And look
I love
at this.
Boondock
11?
Saints. I don't know why. That's the movie I've seen probably like second to the first Scooby-Doo. I still really love it, but I've seen it so many times.
Yeah.
Don't ever need to see it.
I used to do that with Cry Baby,
good point.
the John Waters movie.
Wow.
I used to go home. Oh my God! Thank you.
I acknowledge that.
I used to go home, rewind my VHS from where I had like fallen asleep, and just rewatch it every single day. And when that scene came where he was making out with her and there was lightning, whoa.
Something was happening.
Well, I was in 4th grade and things were a brewing.
Things were steamy for a 4th grader. I
yours?
think this was out of simple cable programming and not out of my love for the movie, but
Okay.
Gladiator on TNT.
TNT would
I
only
swear to
play
God.
We are the
Dude,
Gladiator channel.
Gladiator on TNT was like 3 times a day.
They know drama.
Peak hours.
I guess what really catapulted me into loving horror so much was Tobe Hooper and Steven Spielberg's Poltergeist.
Oh, sure.
I
My parents
still
rented
have
that.
never seen it.
On VHS. They rented the VHS.
know,
It was rated PG because at the time PG-13 didn't exist. And so they were like, from what they remember from the movie, they were like, yeah,
It's like kind of
he
PG.
can handle it.
Yeah.
And then we watched it, and boy, could I not handle it.
When did you?
Heard it's a
What age
spooky
were you?
one.
I think it was
3?
9 or 10.
That's when I saw The Shining for the first time.
Yeah.
That's my jam. The Shining. So The Shining was the first horror film that made me know that I liked horror.
Yeah.
I think in terms of filmmaking, Stand By Me was the first film that made me appreciate film. Stand By Me is about a group of really young kids stuck in a small town that seems to suck them back in. And over time, that not only affects their lives, but it affects their families' lives, their entire generation's lives. And I'm from an incredibly small town, and I think from a very early age, it was a film that started to instill into me the idea of not necessarily getting out, but taking advantage of every opportunity that I could make for myself and constantly pushing those boundaries
That's so
for what
interesting.
I could do with my life. So yeah, I think that began my love for filmmaking, and I think The Shining began my love for horror.
What do you think? Like what do you think Poltergeist affecting you at such a young age? How do you think that affected your creative process?
The film, as it is very eclectic with its scares. I think as a kid, I had never seen something that surprised me so much. Being scared and like looking back, you're like, wow, I was such a fucking idiot. But
Well, and
No,
that's
I mean
real.
it's still really scary.
But that's also something that will stick with you.
it is. It's something that stuck with me. I never forgot it, and I've never been scared like that again. And I probably never will
Never?
be. No.
Really?
Yeah, let's work on scaring.
Got him.
I didn't realize it then. Like, I didn't know I wanted to be a filmmaker at age 9. Like, around age 12 I did, but I think that was
a couple years later.
Yeah.
But that was kind of, I don't know.
become a man first.
That was kind of it. It was like, you know, that surprised me. I want to make something that surprises people.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
So.
Oh, that's sweet. I like that.
What film was that for you? Or not even necessarily film, right? Like
so I'm not like well, actually, it was definitely The Shining. I've never been... The Shining and The Exorcist kind of less The Exorcist, more The Shining. So I watched The Shining on like a little TV on a road trip from Texas to Denver, Colorado. And it was just me in the back seat, and I literally peed myself, and ever since I watched that movie, I've been afraid to go into bathrooms by myself. The thing is that I don't make movies. I'm not like a film director. I'm not a film dude. I love pop culture. I grew up watching wrestling. I grew up watching WWF at the time, now WWE. And so that's informed, I would say, probably like 75% of my personality. Very sensational. Everything, like life is a gimmick, life is a work.
Yeah.
I love carnies. Like I'm a big fan. The movie Freaks is probably my favorite movie of all time. And I've always been a huge fan of the Texas Rodeo and like the scene of the Texas Rodeo, which is why I grew up to really love Rob Zombie and stuff like that, which I think a lot of people don't understand about Rob Zombie. I also you know what? It's funny. Haha.
What?
I think that what shaped me most as a young teen were Kevin Smith movies. I like things that are freaky. I like things that scare. I like things that are make you feel uncomfortable, because I think that the people who are allowed to express things that are not safe to talk about at weddings are the most interesting people, because it takes a very brave person to like something really gross. And especially to be like, listen, I like this thing. I'm really into serial killers. I'm really into serial killers.
Got it.
And that's fine. I'm fine. Yeah.
It is completely fine. I think you brought up a really good point that I think for a lot of people, and I know me personally took a while, but it almost takes a skill to be open to any creative idea. Like you open up a comic book and you don't immediately judge something.
Yeah.
Or like think it's stupid or really like it or whatever. Always be open to a creative's story, what they had in their brain, what they put out there. Critically acclaimed, whatever, there can be something that is known to be bad or known to be great or known to be mediocre, what have you, but there's an audience for it. There's a reason why it was made. Pro wrestling is meant for fans maybe like you, maybe fans who suspend disbelief and don't care for something that is as whimsical or fantastical. But because you may not like that, it doesn't mean that pro wrestling is bad. It's You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think that that's something that's like a big mission of Gamma Ray, is not to be purveyors of culture, not to be like, this is what's good, this is why you should like it, but to be like, why do you like this?
Exactly.
Here's a thing, why do you like it?
I want to talk about it because I think all of us, and I think something that you hit on really, really well is I think we're all interested to see what is good storytelling. Storytelling is at the core of everything in entertainment, and what makes that good. If I don't immediately go, like, I could immediately go like, oh man, I really don't like that. But you go, oh, but these aspects of it are great. Yeah, sure, it's a panned movie, or it's a panned comic book, whatever. But these things are great about it. Like, I want to hear about that.
Yeah.
I think that's super interesting. But no, I'm really excited to make some more content that really hits home kind of the things that we've been talking about. I'm really excited to hear what you guys think as well.
And I think that's it. That's most importantly, like, we want to talk to you guys. We want to talk to all of you. We want to hear your opinions. Tell us we're wrong. Tell us we're right.
We're going to be having more weekly discussions about different topics across fandom, and we more than invite you guys to watch. Let us know what you guys are thinking, and stay tuned, and, give us some topics to talk about. We want to talk about it.
What do you want to know more about, and what do you want to know less about?
What knowledge can we take from you?
What can we suck from your soul?
I ran out of spit.
Guys, so tune in for more discussions on a bunch of different topics across comic books, video games, film, television, wrestling, cobblesmithing. not cobblesmithing.
Murder!
Although, if you have a discussion on cobblesmithing, I'm more than happy to talk about it. I don't know anything about it. Follow GameRay across social channels at GameRay TV. Tune in for more live streaming on Twitch, and keep tuning in for more content. Thanks, guys.